Hey guys, my name's Cliche and I'm getting back on YouTube yet again. I've been on YouTube for a few years now. I used to have a different channel, then I closed it down. And same thing happened with this channel. I had it for a while and then I got off because I just decided to do some different things. So I always miss YouTube. So eventually I just come back anyway. But yeah, so I said, let me pick up my camera and start recording again because I'm just in this phase of life right now where I'm trying to figure out life. Like I'm trying to figure out my life. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. And so I couldn't really decide what I wanted to film about or, what I wanted to create content about because I enjoy creating content, but it's normally always around something that I'm doing. So if, like, for instance, I used to be a travel agent. So once I learned how to do that, I taught other people how to do it. When I was in PTA school, before that, I had another channel where I taught people how to get into the PTA program. I don't know. So I have just like a passion for creating content that teaches something to others, but I don't know what I want to do right now. Like I'm still trying to figure it out. And so just being honest, I'm just at a point where I'm trying to figure it out because I kind of feel guilty that I don't like my job, even though I went to school for it. So I'm in this phase, I'm just, being honest. I'm in this phase of where I feel guilty that I don't enjoy doing my job and that I want to do something else. Now, mind you, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I always knew that what I was going to school for would just be a means to help me financially be able to be an entrepreneur and to invest in other things. I never wanted to just work full-time for the rest of my life and then retire. So every time that I go to my full-time job or that I do the job that I'm trying to do, I'm only content for so long. And so I kind of start to feel guilty about that because yes, I did the schooling, paid the money, did all the things, all this, because, those 2 years in the PTA program itself was really sacrificing a lot. Like, you're in school from 8 to 5 every day, constantly studying. Like it's like your days are long for 2 years straight. A lot of things I sacrificed during that time. And then, I make decent money. So that also makes you feel like, okay, well, you could just go to work and make a decent living. But it's just, I don't want to say I don't have the passion for it because I still enjoy it. I just don't want to do it on a full-time basis. And then another thing I feel like is I recently started doing home health. So normally I worked in skilled nursing. I never really went the outpatient route or inpatient, any of the other settings. I always did skilled nursing. And so after a few years, I got burnt out on skilled nursing. And so I said, okay, I'll try home health. Now, loved home health. Like especially the company I'm with now, loved home health the first 5 months. And so, okay, yeah, I can see myself doing this. My schedule is way more flexible. Skilled nursing, it can be flexible, but only to a certain extent. But home health schedule is super flexible, playing my own days, all the things. But I was also I was full time doing home health, and so a lot of times, there were some weeks I was getting 12, 13 patients a day, which it was a lot to me. I don't know what the standard is out there, but that was a lot just for one day. Being full-time. So, I kind of had to let them know, hey, give me 7 or 8. That's where I want to stay. Because my productivity standard for the week when I was full-time was 32 visits a week. And so I was seeing way over that. And so anyway, I was enjoying it for a period of time. But then what reminded me of the fact that I don't, just align with full-time work as far as working for a company is, I don't remember what happened. I don't remember if it was one of my surgeries because I just had surgery on Friday. It was something going on. I can't remember. But it was one of those situations where you're reminded that you're really just a number at a company, right? They don't care how hard you work. They don't care how many visits you're busting your butt to see. At the end of the day, you're just a number. And then also, I also like to travel a lot. And so having another thing that did it is that having to save your PTO time, but then in certain instances where, like, if there's bad weather, or you get sick unaccounted for, things like that, you would have to use your PTO for, like even like weather conditions. Like if you couldn't physically drive to work, you would have to use those hours you saved if you're planning to like go on vacation. And so I've never liked the freedom that doesn't come with having a 9 to 5, or working for a different company. And so that's why entrepreneurship has always been so appealing to me, because I want that freedom. That's the main thing for me. Like I said, I make decent money doing home health. I'm paid per visit, so I'm not hourly. Even though I'm a W-2 employee with this company that I'm with now, I'm paid per visit. And so it ranges, right? So everything depends on where you live and where you are. For my visits, I'm paid like, I think, what is it? It's like 50. It was something weird, like, because mine is like 59.95, I think, because when I originally asked for 60, for whatever reason, they couldn't just give me 60. That's the number that they said that was the highest that they can go. So it's like 59.95 or something like that, because they use some kind of system. I don't know. But that's what I'm paid per visit. And so, it's not bad, right? It's not a bad income to have, but I get burnt out doing it quickly. Like, so anyway, long story short, just to catch y'all up, to where I am now, I went PRN, because me and my husband are going through, fertility treatments again. And the first time I did it, it was really hard for me. So, I just knew I wasn't gonna mentally be there to be able to do full-time hours and go through this whole treatment process. So I'm PRN now, and then I choose how many visits I want to do for the week. And so I'm working today, and so for right now, I'm gonna bring you guys just on the journey of what my life looks like. So just going to work, which is what I'm doing right now, and then trying to figure out not even where my passion lies, because I know I enjoy content creation. I like editing videos. I like doing all of those things, because I've taught myself how to do it over the years. Excuse me. Because I've taught myself how to do it over the years. I just need to figure out what kind of content do I want to create. And so I said, okay, I'll just share with y'all kind of what my life looks like right now and what I'm doing. And hopefully just all along the way, I'm going to figure out what it is. Like, I know they say most entrepreneurs, they've failed many times, right? Or, you don't even necessarily have to see it as failing, but they've had many businesses before that one business really takes off, or whatever the case may be. But I'm in that phase of where it's kind of draining, like always trying to start a new business, and then that business doesn't work, and it's like, okay, do I have the energy to do this all over? Oh, hopefully that wasn't in the way the whole time. But do I have the energy to do this all over again, and start another business? So I said, what's something that's an outlet for me that I enjoy doing, and that's content creation. So that's just kind of where I am. I kind of just wanted to reintroduce myself and tell y'all that I'm going to be posting back on my YouTube channel, and I'm just trying to figure it out. Like, right now I'm trying to get to this phase of just not feeling guilty that I no longer enjoy doing the full-time work that I do. And it's also that thing of, okay, well, not saying I'm the greatest therapist in the world, but I'm also good at it, right? So especially working with my demographic, just because I've done it for so many years. I work with mostly home health. For the most part, my patients are geriatrics, or they can, like, we do get younger patients sometimes. Like, I've had a 30-year-old patient before. I've had 40-year-old patients before. But for the most part, it's an older population who are more homebound, things like that. But I just thrive. It's easy for me to do. I don't know. I just connect really well with the elderly population, and I just, it's just something that I'm good at, right? I'm just knowledgeable in this area, obviously, because I went to school for it, and then I've been doing it, for years now. So it's also that thing. Okay, why not just do the thing that comes easy, that, you went to school to do, but it's like, I don't like the constraints that come with it, especially knowing that we want to grow our family, things like that. Like, the world is just not what it used to be. I don't think I would be comfortable sending my kids to, especially like babies, to daycares and things like that. And so it's just things that I just don't want for myself, So I don't know, and I'm just trying to figure it out, and I'm at that point, and I just don't want to settle. Because even the other day, when I was okay, well, I feel like everything that I'm trying is just not working. Maybe I'll just quit trying to be an entrepreneur, and then I'll just settle for working my full-time job. And this isn't a knock to anybody else. Like, if you like your full-time job, then that's you. I'm talking about me personally, my opinions, and how I want to live my life. It would be me settling, because it's not who I am, like, to my core. Who I am to my core as a creator is somebody who wants to be an entrepreneur. And so I would never be content with just working a 9-to-5 job, or just working for somebody else. That's never been it's just not how God made me. And so I need to figure it out. I need to figure out what is going to be my lane, and just figure it out. So that's where I'm at right now, just trying to figure it out. And so until I do, I want to get back to posting content, because it is something that I enjoy. I miss editing videos, and all of those things. So just to tell y'all a little bit about what I do, probably got 2 more minutes before I'm at this patient's house. I'm a physical therapist assistant. Been doing this, I don't even remember, I guess since 2018, I guess 2017, one of those. And I enjoy it. Like I said, it's just something that I enjoy doing, but I just don't like the restraints that come with it. Not like outside of treating patients. Like, treating patients doesn't bother me. The whole setup of the patient interaction doesn't bother me. Like, even going into people's homes. I've been in a few crazy places now. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Now, some places you'd be like, oh, look now, like, okay, where am I at? But for the most part, even those places, like, people are just easy to get along with. Like, you got to be careful, just because of the day and age that we live in. You just never really know. But 9 times out of 10, my patients aren't the problem. If there's ever an issue or a reason where I feel like, okay, let me look into where I am, it would be like the surrounding environment, right? I don't know who this is calling me. Let me decline that. It would be like the surrounding environment. Maybe if they have people in their home, or things like that, But for the most part, I haven't ran into any real issues. And so that's basically what I do. I drive around all day. I schedule my day, actually, and I'll take y'all on like a day in the life of like me walking through my day. But my day usually starts the night before, because that's when I call my patients and schedule them for the next day. And then I kind of just drive around and go see them. So that's pretty much my job. I go in here and treat people who, are elderly, who've had multiple falls. Maybe they've been hospitalized behind it, surgeries, all types, and just basically rehabbing. So getting people stronger, healthier, and more independent than where they are currently. And so, yeah, that's like really all I got to say for today anyway, because like I said, I'm just going to be filming and figuring my life out in my 30s. So this is just where we're at. And I'll see y'all in the next one, because I'm at my patient's house.